A conquistador following his dreams saw nothing but the parched blue horizon as he marched through the gritty sand north of Mexico City. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was a cruel and greedy man chasing a legend of the 7 cities of gold. Coronado was a young man who was searching for a fortune of his own since he had an older brother who would take the family fortune and he would get nothing. Francisco was a Spanish explorer who was born somewhere near 1510 in Salamanca, Spain. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was a legendary explorer who had traveled for many countries. He was the first European to explore the American Southwest. His scouts were the first to view the Grand Canyon. Coronado was 25 when he started his expedition to New Spain, now known as Mexico. Being the youngest child, he had no prospects of inheriting the family fortune. Instead, he sought to find his own fortune by traveling to the New World. Coronado went to New Spain for riches and gold. As leader of the group, Francisco suffered many Indian attacks. Many of his men died of sickness and eating poisonous plants. Coronado did make it back even if he did not find very much gold and riches. That takes. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was born in 1510 in a wealthy big house. Coronado went to explore the 7 cities of gold because he heard that there were large, rich places with tall buildings. He also heard that there were decorations of solid gold. The king and queen told him to go to the 7 cities of gold. He was going to set off to the north of Mexico, where the cities were, as he was told. Back then, the way to get rich was to gain fame. All he wanted was to see the 7 cities of gold. He wanted to see the large, rich places and tall buildings. Coronado was mad that he didn't find the 7 cities of gold, so he sent his men many places to try and find the 7 cities. When Coronado got back from his trip, the king and queen were angry because Coronado didn't find any gold. They sent charges to Coronado, but soon after that, the charges were cleared. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado was famous for finding the Grand Canyon. Even if he didn't actually find the Grand Canyon, some of his scouts did. While he was exploring, he found no gold, but he didn't give up. So he split his men into groups. One group that was led by Garcia Lopez de Cardenas, who was the first European that saw the Grand Canyon on the Colorado River, and another found the Grand Canyon, which led to fighting the natives because the natives were there first. Then they fought a bloody battle. After that, Coronado beat the native people and he took their land. Then in 1542, he went back to Mexico and the governor was mad. So Francisco, finding no gold, led to getting punished. He sent charges to Francisco Vasquez de Coronado, thinking that he was neglecting his duty to find gold. But soon after, the charges were cleared. And de Coronado gained favor again because he testified with the governor of New Spain, and Francisco Vasquez de Coronado got a piece of land for his service. Francisco Vasquez de Coronado got tricked by the native people to march into the Great Plains. He and his men fought with the Zuni tribe and took over the 7 cities of gold. So he decided to send his men in many directions to search for the cities. But Francisco Vasquez de Coronado and his men searched for 2 years more. But Coronado couldn't find the 7 cities, so he decided to return home. Coronado went to find the 7 cities of gold but never found them, and so he didn't get fortune, but he got fame. Coronado didn't find the cities of gold and became ruler of them, but found no gold. Coronado finished all his expeditions around March 1542 from a fall off his horse. He died of old age in the year 1556. Since Coronado was Spanish, he named Mexico New Spain, and later the rulers changed the name of New Spain to Mexico. Coronado found Native American tribes such as Pueblo, Zuni, and Hopi. Not many people know what finally happened to Coronado. Even if he didn't find any gold cities or big towns, he helped to make new maps so people could know where rocks or dangerous things were. Coronado tried to convert many Native Americans to Catholicism and actually succeeded in doing it. Mendoza chose Coronado to be the leader of the expedition because Coronado was Mendoza's good friend. When Coronado was young, he seemed destined for fame. He is also important because he opened up the American Southwest. He led an expedition in 1540, crossing from Mexico into Arizona. He was the first Spanish explorer to go into Colorado. Francisco was born in 1510. He discovered the states Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, and Oklahoma. On his trip to find the Grand Canyon, he traveled through all of the states he discovered because he returned to Spain with news that he claimed a lot of land. He helped to make new maps with some Native American trails, major rivers, and almost all of New Spain or Mexico. He was the first Spanish explorer to explore the American Southwest. I think today Francisco Vasquez de Coronado will be most remembered for how brave and strong he was for almost a whole year marching around the New World looking for something to discover. I think he will also be remembered because his scouts discovered the Grand Canyon, and it is one of the most famous sights to see when you're a tourist in America, or even if you live in America, it's still an amazing sight.